Order. The clerk will now proceed to read the order of the day.
Item 1, resumption of debate on the budget statement.
The question is that Parliament approves the financial policy of the government for the financial year 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020. Mr. Liang Eng Hwa.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to touch on 4 areas of budget 2019, namely growing our enterprises, supporting our workers, healthcare support, and fiscal management. Firstly, on growing our enterprises. Budget 2019 continues to press on with efforts to build competitive enterprises within our economy, with greater focus and emphasis on changes at the microeconomic level. The slew of schemes and programs announced aims at helping enterprises deepen capabilities and to scale up. Besides the new schemes such as the Scale Up SG, SME Co-Investment Fund 3, and the Innovation Agent Program, the Finance Minister has also extended and enhanced existing schemes such as the EDG, PSG, and others, with the intent to boost effectiveness and to reap better outcomes. 8 existing financing schemes offered by ESG will also streamline into a single enterprise financing scheme, EFS, making it simpler for businesses to apply and easier to access the loans. The merged EFS is also extended to companies who have been incorporated for less than 5 years and may not have yet met the credit evaluation criteria or vintages as required by banks. The government's willingness to risk share up to 70% of the loan amount significantly enhanced the lending proposition, which will encourage more financial institutions to participate. The ability to obtain financing means a great deal to companies, especially those in the early growth phase. Being able to readily access funding and liquidity can make or break a company. This is an essential enabler for a flourishing enterprise ecosystem to exist. Besides financing, companies that are in scaling up phase often need private capitals from investors who are more patient and with a longer time horizon. Hence, the additional 100 million injection to establish the SME Co-Investment Fund 3 can act as a catalyst to entice even more crucial investment in these high-growth potential companies. Of course, there are no guarantee of success in such co-investment, but it is necessary to make available such risk capital so as to give promising startup a lift. So today our economy is more innovative and technology-driven, and we do have a vibrant startup ecosystem. More new-to-economy activities have also been developed in recent years, such as the proliferation of fintechs, sharing economy apps, deep tech ventures, and so on. Progressing from startup to scale up is the next logical move. Startups and enterprises can only thrive when they scale up and seek greater market opportunities. And to achieve this, we must be open to trying out new approaches to grow our enterprises. From an economic resource allocation standpoint, it makes excellent sense to help grow the sizes of our company, especially the small enterprises. Bigger companies enjoy better economies of scale advantages and are in better position to expand, innovate, internationalize, and manage business risks. In general, larger companies tend to be bigger value contributors to the economy as a proportion and offer better job opportunities for Singaporeans. The new Scaled Up SG program is a bold move to help fast-track growth for promising enterprises. I would imagine that such program will offer highly customized assistance, which may entail differentiated support and assistance, better financial support for the adoption of technology, and so on. We will await more details from the MTI COS. But the instinctive question I have in mind is whether such scheme, being customized and hence selective in nature, would involve some extent of picking winners. Would the Scale Up SG be a separate track of work from the ITMs? And how do we eventually expand the Scale Up SG, or so to speak, scale up the Scale Up SG to move the needle for the economy? Second, on supporting our workers. So I'm most heartened that the Finance Minister again committed solid budgetary support to help Singaporeans workers stay employed and be re-employed. Out of the $4.6 billion allocated to transforming the economy, a lion's share of the $3.6 billion will go towards helping our workers. It underscores the government's resolve to help workers adjust to the future economic landscape no matter how difficult the adjustments may be. Among others, the Professional Conversion Program, PCP, will be expanded to cover the new growth areas. This will help job seekers reskill to transit into new occupations or sectors with good prospects and opportunities for progression. The PCP, which is part of the Adapt and Growth Initiative, has since achieved encouraging results, helping 76,000 job seekers find jobs in the last 3 years. But we should continually raise the bar here, aiming not only to help even more job seekers find new jobs, but also to improve the overall experience of the job seekers. The newly harmonized Global Ready Talent Program, GRTP, will help young Singaporeans gain overseas work experience in the key growth regional markets where we are seeking greater economic interdependencies, such as Southeast Asia, China, and India. Under the scheme, participating local firms can receive funding support of up to 70% of the cost. These are markets in our immediate neighborhood where we need to strengthen our connectivity and to expand the talent pool of people. I thank the Finance Minister for extending the Career Support Program, CSP, for another 2 years. The CSP is a much appreciated scheme by both companies and workers. The program encouraged companies to hire matured workers who may have been in a long-term unemployment by subsidizing a significant share of the worker's salary. Rather than renew this program every 2 to 3 years, I hope that the government can turn the CSP into a permanent scheme. Of course, the terms can be refined from time to time to meet changing circumstances. It will give workers, especially mature workers who are concerned about their job securities, a sense of assurance that the government will be there to help in their transition to the new job. It will also demonstrate the government's resolve to keep long-term and structural unemployment to the lowest possible level, even as our economy becomes more innovative and more technology-driven. To encourage employment of older workers, the Special Employment Credit Scheme, SCC, and the additional SCC have been extended by another year. The SCC provides a wage offset to employers for hiring workers aged above 55, earnings up to $4,000 per month. These are consistent with our strategy to tackle twin challenges of tightening labour markets and our aging demographics. The enhancement to the Workfare Income Supplement Scheme, WIS, is another piece of welcome news, especially to the low-wage workers. The higher payouts of up to $4,000 per year will help low-wage workers cope with the cost of living. Sir, I support the reduction of the services sector S-Pass sub-DRC to address the sharp growth of S-Passes in this sector. It is not sustainable, both economically and socially, to keep having more and more foreign workers in the workforce. In particular, such mid-level skills labour is also increasingly in demand in other countries as well. And companies will, in a matter of time, face competition in getting these workers to come in. Hopefully, this tightening will also signal to companies that they need to revamp their work processes, redesign jobs, and reskill their local workers. There are already almost 200,000 S-Pass holders in the workforce now. Our S-Pass system should be structured in a way where companies are given more S-Pass only if they have more local workers at mid to high wage levels and demonstrate high value contribution to the economy. We should strengthen this linkage. And can I also suggest that the companies that have been shown to hire more displaced or retrenched local workers, for example, via the WSG or E2I, be given favorable consideration for their renewal of S-Pass as well. At the end of the day, we want more of the S-Pass type of jobs to be undertaken by Singaporeans, whether they are seniors, IT or poly grads, or back-to-work mothers. Tightening of foreign workers' quota is understandably painful to companies who are unable to find local workers. I hope that with the EDG and PSG extended and expanded, it would help firms adjust to this round of tightening of the labour market. And I look forward to hearing more details at the MTI-COS on the measures. So I like the statement from the Finance Minister that starting from 1st April 2020, all transformation efforts supported by Enterprise Singapore's EDG must include positive outcomes for workers, such as wage increases. Growing the economy is a means to an end, and the end must be to create good jobs, better salaries for our people. We have seen how economic growth in other developed economies has not always led to better workers' outcomes and resulting in deep divisions within their societies. At the end of the day, economic development cannot be delinked from the social well-being of people. Thirdly, on healthcare support. For many years, the government has been highlighting the challenges of our aging demographics and have put in place a series of long-term policies to deal with this imminent development. One serious implication of an aging society are that healthcare needs will grow, will increase. The government has put its money where its mouth is, and over the years, MOH has expanded the healthcare infrastructure, such as hospitals, polyclinics, senior care centers, and many others. At the community level, there are also more social support, such as the Community Network for Seniors and the PA Wellness Program, as well as the many VWOs working with the community organizations. The AIC and the SGO are today better resourced to assist and engage seniors. Besides infrastructures, healthcare support must also include providing assurance that the healthcare services will be affordable and the individual will have adequate savings and insurance coverage to meet their old age needs. Building more polyclinic and the introduction of community health assist scheme CHAS has made affordable primary care more accessible to people. The enhancement in CHAS to cover all Singaporeans for chronic conditions regardless of income is another indication of our improving social safety nets. And as a further icing to the cake, we now have the Merdeka Generation Package, MGP, which have benefits that will be better than the blue CHAS cards. So I support the decision not to have means tests for the MGP, just like the PGP. These are very special generations who went through some of the most trying times during our pre- and early independence years. So to help with large hospital bills, we now have the enhanced MediShield Life coverage covering all Singaporeans, including those with pre-existing conditions. To protect against uncertainties of long-term care costs, we will soon transit into the CareShield Life. Premiums for both the schemes can be paid using MediSave, which is why it is helpful that the government constantly look to top up the MediSave account of Singaporeans whenever we have surpluses. Both MediShield Life and the CareShield Life are now administered by the government. So my ask to MOF and MOH is that we should continually look to enhance the terms of the coverage. Whenever there are surpluses, we should consider one-off injection into the risk pool to continually improve the claims economics for the insured. Overall, credit must be given to MOH and to Minister Gans for their tremendous effort to strengthen our massive healthcare system and for giving Singaporeans a much better peace of mind today. Fourthly, on fiscal management. So, Budget 2019 will have its long-lasting impacts in many areas such as national security, economic transformation, helping our workers, infrastructural development, and enhancing social safety nets. For a budget to be impactful, having the required financial resources is, of course, a given. But we also need the right strategic plans and the ability to carry out the plans coherently across financial years and across terms of governments. We are in this enviable position because in each budget since our founding years, we have always been prudent and steadfast in resisting the temptation to spend more than necessary. As the base of our reserves grow, the investment returns have now become the largest revenue contributor, helping us balance the budget, which we would otherwise run into deficits. Given this is the case, our budget in recent years, including Budget 2019, are by definition expansionary budgets, with NIRC the stimulus injections. Of course, we cannot count on NIRC to fund all our expenditures. Growing the economy to generate tax revenue and to create good jobs for our people continue to be critical to our long-term survival. The Constitution requires the government today to maintain a balanced budget over each term so as to ensure that public funds are allocated sustainably. And this arrangement has worked well for Singapore, requiring the government of the day to be disciplined and prudent in managing our finances and sharing the fruits of our better economic performance whenever surpluses are generated. The surpluses are also used to fund massive social health care programs like the PGP and MGP without adding burden to future generations. So based on the estimates from Budget 2019, the accumulated surpluses from this term of government is projected to be about $15.6 billion, after allowing for projected deficits of $3.5 billion for FY 2019. Under the Constitution, this amount not spent will be locked up as past reserve in the new term of government. With about 2 more years of our term to go, I would like to ask the Finance Minister how he envisaged the accumulated surpluses for this term of government to be utilized. So my final points relates to the recent spate of incidents and lapses involving public service and public service providers. This series of incidents has naturally caused concerns whether the standards in the delivery of public services have been slackened. In each of these incidents, the government has been transparent in getting to the root of the problem, holding the organization or companies accountable, and each time committing to take the necessary corrective actions. I appreciate Minister Heng's article to the Straits Times on 9 February 2019, reaffirming the government's commitment to strive for the highest standards of excellence in Singapore. Singapore has always been effectively governed and has achieved very commendable outcomes for our people. Whether it is growing our economy and creating jobs, building a livable home, or building a harmonious society, providing law and order, or securing our sovereignty, we have always gotten our fundamentals right, and we have always do what is right for the long-term good of the country. And I'm sure Singaporeans are proud of our achievements. But we also know that the public wants their day-to-day services to be run well too, and to have minimal disruption in the delivery of services as they go about their daily lives. In other words, besides doing the big things right and well, which is critical, the public also expects those who are mandated to deliver public services to achieve operational excellence and to do the last 5% well too. And this entails a different mindset at both organizational and leadership levels as to how we look at operations and the daily functioning of services. Operational responsibility cannot be just dedicated to line managers, supervisors, or individual employees. It is a collective responsibility of the manager and the employees. At the individual level, each employee taking ownership and pride in carrying out their duties and responsibility. And Minister Heng, in his article, also mentioned about learning from the Japanese and the Swiss, who have a strong sense of personal responsibility in what they do at work and a meticulous attention to details. It reminds me of this story about President JFK's visit to NASA in 1961. He met a janitor or cleaner who was mopping the floor as he walked in and asked the janitor what he was doing. And the janitor replied, "I'm helping put a man on the moon." The leadership and the management sets the culture, but it must manifest through the actions of every individual and on a daily basis. Management must take deeper interest in what each of the employee is doing, what their daily challenges and pain points are. Is the employee adequately resourced to do the work, and how we can improve their work situations and the employee journey. Sir, our system as a whole is in a good position to deliver excellent service to our people. We just need to bring everyone on board, instill ownership and pride in what we do, ensure that there are adequate support and resources for the people to do their job well, and to build a strong sense of purpose that each of us can make a difference. I agree with Minister Heng that we do have this ethos and DNA with us, and I'm sure we can do a better job going forward. So with that, I support the budget, sir.